Imagine living in a society where no matter how hard you work, you receive the same reward as everyone else. The idea may sound fair in theory, but in practice has led to widespread poverty, oppression, and economic failure. Communism does not work because it removes personal motivation, leads to government corruption, and fails to provide economic stability. After researching the history and outcomes of communist regimes such as the Soviet Union, China, and Cuba, I found the system consistently results in inequality and inefficiency. Understanding why communism fails helps us appreciate the importance of personal freedom and a balanced economy. Today, I'll explain why communism fails in 3 key ways: by eliminating individual motivation, enabling government abuse of power, and creating long-term economic instability. Under communism, all property and profits are owned collectively, removing incentives for people to work harder or innovate. According to economist Milton Friedman, when people are not rewarded for their individual efforts, productivity and creativity decline sharply. Historical evidence from the Soviet Union shows that the productivity levels fall as workers saw no benefit in performing beyond minimal expectations. So you're gonna work, you're gonna do all this. No matter how hard you work or how hard I work, we're gonna get the same thing. How is that fair and how does that motivate? It simply doesn't. I can work 80 hours in a week and put in all this hard time and effort, and this other guy can put in nothing. He can show up to work 10 hours a week, and you and that guy will have the same outcome no matter what. That is the systematic process of communism. That's why it simply does not work. It leaves no motivation for innovation. In America, we live off of the American dream of, I'm gonna work hard and I'm gonna do well. I'm gonna come up with this new idea, I'm gonna innovate, I'm gonna think outside the box, I'm gonna make it happen. Versus there, you can do all that and the government will take your idea and take your property and give you nothing for it. It eliminates the dream of making a life for yourself and for your family and elevating yourself out of poverty. Without the motivation, the system depends entirely on government control, which leads to your next problem. It results in government corruption and abuse of power. Centralized control gives the government complete authority over resources, media, and even citizens' rights. In communist regimes like Stalin's USSR, this concentration of power led to widespread human rights abuses and mass famine. Without accountability, leaders manipulate the system for personal gain, creating a ruling class. Ironically, the very inequality communism sought to end. Communism sought to beat poverty. It sought to create this working class for the people, by the people type deal. But it didn't. It created 2 separate classes, a poverty class and a ruling aristocratic class in a way that was separated. Even if corruption could somehow be avoided, communism still fails to sustain a stable economy. Planned economies cannot efficiently meet the needs of society because they lack market signals like supply and demand. China's shift toward market reforms in the late 20th century showed that economic growth only became once communist policies were released. Without the competition and private ownership, economies stagnate and citizens suffer from shortages of basic goods. Communism fails because it destroys motivation and encourages government abuse and cannot sustain economic growth. We've seen how the lack of personal incentives, political corruption, and unstable economies have led to the downfall of communist nations. In conclusion, while the idea of equality is appealing, history has proven that communism achieves the opposite. True progress comes from systems that balance fairness with freedom, allowing individuals to thrive and societies to prosper. Thank you all for attending this speech.